I can't think of a time that I have felt more bilked in my life than purchasing camo.
Oh, you're not kidding either.
It's expensive.
Yeah.
For the premium brands of camo, it is expensive. And so in this video, we've done a huge amount of research for you to just make you feel confident with the camo pattern that you go with. So we have some, Realtree, Mossy Oak stuff, the store brand like Killick, Sitka, Under Armour gear, and there are other brands, Kryptek, Kuiu, First Slide, etc. And we're going to talk about all of them in this video and kind of walk you through some of the things we learned as we've made these decisions. So first thing though, let's throw some numbers on this board.
That's right. So check out all the numbers on the screen here, going from least expensive to most expensive. It's amazing to me, a full setup, and we'll talk about like why we picked this as the full setup, but a pair of pants, a shirt, a hoodie, a raincoat, and then like an insulated warm coat layer.
We live in Idaho.
That's a pretty good setup. And that doesn't include a hat and stuff, but it's amazing to me that you can get a Mossy Oak or a Realtree setup like that for about $115. Like you can get all that gear. Whereas on the far other end of the spectrum, you've got the full Under Armour setup, which is what I have here, and it costs about $1,000.
It's crazy.
And there's a pretty big gap there. So you can see next to the Mossy Oak, we've got Killick. That's the Sportsmans Warehouse brand. About $400, and you can be pretty well set up there if they have all the things that you need in stock. Taking it all the way from there. But from there, it jumps up from $350 to about $750. There's not an in-between.
Now, before we get like 100 haters on this video, this is not a perfect test, right? Because you say a puff coat for each one, but they're all different qualities. And some of them have like 6 different puff coats. Kuiu especially, and Kryptek, they have pretty expansive lines of what they have. And so which one did we pick for it? We tried our best to kind of get a middle of the road for that particular brand. But really what you should get from this is not that First Light is necessarily more expensive than Kryptek.
Right. You've got Mossy Oak and Realtree. Then there's a little bit of a gap, and you've got Killick, your store brand stuff. And then there's a gap, and then you've got everything else.
Yeah.
And that's the thing
must be a heart surgeon.
I could have a good, I could get a good Under Armour setup for maybe slightly less than a good a Sitka setup. It's just going to vary based on the specific pieces you choose to pick up. So
okay,
there you go.
So let's talk about kind of our progression. We've been hunting together since high school, and we hunted in this stuff.
Yep, Realtree.
The thing is, they've just licensed it out to 1,000 different companies to print it. So you can actually get really good quality stuff in Mossy Oak and Realtree. Yep. Absolutely you can. Like very good quality stuff.
You pay a lot for it too, yes.
You can also go to Walmart and buy a $20 fleece that's not going to do real well in the rain.
And that's with this $115 setup. That's the Walmart quality stuff, right? I chose like the nicest pants that I could get at the Walmart, and it was like $18. And so, but again, you do get a range.
These kill deer. These kill elk, these kill bear. You should, they're not as cool as the whiz-bang stuff that you see on the hunting shows, but for a lot of people, just go get the cheap stuff. You're going to do just fine. Yeah. I've killed deer in them. They work, I promise. Okay, now let's go up to the next level. I was really excited about Killick. You can see I'm wearing a Killick shirt. They make the most comfortable shirts ever, by the way. Every time I go to Sportsman's Warehouse, I'll buy another one of their shirts because I've never worn something so comfortable. Anyway, if you have a Sportsman's Warehouse where you live, they're not everywhere.
Sure.
But their store brand, Cabela's has their own store brand as well that's pretty comparable in price. I think Cabela's brand is a little bit more expensive, but I was really excited about it because, first of all, I think the pattern is cool.
It is cool.
And when I started looking at each of the prices for the pieces, I was really excited about it. And I thought, man, idiots buying the expensive stuff. I'm gonna go with this. This is great.
We were set to make a video about that. It was like, man, these idiots are spending so much money. We're gonna make a video that just helps everybody understand you do not need that.
And then experience comes.
Yes.
What happened is we were getting ready for a specific, really cold winter hunt. and you go and you want to get, you know, a puff coat, a rain jacket, and you're like, oh, they're sold out.
Yeah.
Or you look at their puff coat was just
Oh
terrible.
man.
It was just junk.
You might as well not wear it one.
Yeah.
And in fact, the one I picked up, they only had one in my size. The one I picked up, the stitching was messed up, so it pulled really bad to one side. I was like, I literally can't wear this. It just won't work. And it was, I mean, it's great that it's light, but it was like light and worthless. The insulation just did nothing.
Most of the stuff in Killick that I got, I found to be really good quality patterns and fabric and everything. If you can get everything, I think it's actually a great pattern. So a store brand, a Cabela something, if you can find all the pieces you're going to need, I think they're great.
Absolutely.
Okay, now we're going into the more expensive stuff.
And for this particular hunt, we chose this because of the availability and because of just the options. So like not just because the stores had more stock of it, but also because there were just more options to choose from in general.
That is big. I'm really excited about hunting. I'm going to Africa. We're hunting in Idaho. I'm going to Texas next week. And so I want a system that I can buy a piece if I'm going to Alaska for a hunt, or buy a piece if I'm going to Africa for a hunt. I don't want to switch camos and everything or go mismatched. I like to match. Anyway, so there are a lot of these different companies, and what I would say, you know, between your Kuiu, Kryptek, First Light, Sitka, Under Armour, and there are probably a couple others that I missed that people are going to scream at us in the comments about. They all make great stuff. I mean, just really good stuff. A lot of it is going to come down to what pattern you like. For me personally, I love Kuiu as a brand. I have their backpack that's awesome, their Pro 6000, but I thought their pattern was kind of ugly. I just don't like it that much. And so I didn't pick it. Kryptek, I think, looks awesome.
It's got a cool pattern. My brother was wearing Kryptek on the trip we went on, and it's pretty sweet.
It's cool looking camo, and that's a local Boise company. But we found availability to be really hard at sometimes. So anyway, you're going to work through your decision of these higher end brands yourself of kind of what you want. But what we do want to show you is what specific pieces we buy for just like you can really hunt just about anywhere in this kind of setup.
Yep, absolutely. Well, let's
start at the top. Hat options. Of course, I like a normal cap
for sure, especially because Under Armour makes sweet hats. But
I like to wear a beanie so that I look a little bit more redneck.
Also, I thought this was kind of cool. Under Armour had this beanie where if you really want the hunter orange, you can flip it to the hunter orange, but you can flip it out. It's really not that special, but
I really like this this neck warmer from Sitka. The reason I like it is you can just pull it over your face if you want that. You can pull it over your ears. I just found it to be really handy, like to just keep yourself warm. I even slept in it. It just kept me warm. A face mask always gets wet and stuff, and this I found I could keep out of the way. It was actually kind of a cool piece. We did a recent hunt that we were in 14 inches of snow, and we wanted everything you had. It was cool.
And I just don't usually like the neck warmer. I get too warm, and then I end up sweating too much. It ends up wet, and I just don't like it.
Happens to the best.
It does. I put out a lot of heat.
Rain jackets.
Yes.
So both of these brands offer multiple different rain jackets. I passed this one multiple times when I was first looking because I was looking for it and I didn't even recognize it was a rain jacket because it's soft and relatively quiet. It's not like a rubber Helly Hansen.
This is a little bit more plasticky feeling on the outside, so you know it's a raincoat. This one feels like fleece.
But we did have plenty of precipitation, and this thing is totally
dry.
Snow
and rain. It's awesome.
I don't know if I'd want to be in multiple days of a downpour. I'd probably go to something slicker. But I had no problem. I mean, it was very rainproof.
And I really, really liked Under Armour's rain stuff. They have pants as well that are this totally waterproof. It's Gore-Tex. I mean, there was no moisture inside except for what came from me, of course. No, but this, just a sweet jacket. I loved it. Actually, I wore this most of the time, even though it was really cold and snowy. I wore this without this because it actually held in my heat really well too. Even though it's not thick and well insulated, did a really good job.
And we're going to link to the specific pieces, the specific brand model of each one that we purchased here in the description so that you guys can find those specific things. But I do like this is quiet because both of us, we bow hunt, and so it's got to be quiet. For a gun hunt, not that big of a deal. Puff coat. Let me tell you a tale. A tale of when I bought this coat. It's a woman's coat. I admit it. It reminds me of The Office.
I can't believe you admitted to that.
You know where Michael wears the women's suit? He's like, it is mysterious. There are no pants. There are no pockets in the pants. Apparently, a women's extra large is a men's medium. And I'm telling you, it just fit me nicely. I bought it, okay? Leave me alone. It's a women's coat, and it works just like a men's coat. Keeps you warm. So anyway, the puff coat I was really, really happy with. What I was concerned with a puff coat, because that's the way I like to layer up when I'm going for a cold hunt, is a puff coat to keep you warm, and then just the insulated rain jacket on the outer so that if you do heat up, you can take off the puff and just use the rain jacket as your one layer. So I really like going that way, and I was very happy to see that this puff coat is also, it may not be rain proof, but we're falling the lake waterproof, but I wasn't getting soaked.
On mine, this puff coat, this is the, what was it called? Alpine Ops. This from Under Armour, first of all, is extremely warm. It's deceptive because you pick it up and it's so light that you're like, there's no way that actually insulates that well.
They're pretty comparable.
Yeah, it's light. So it was extremely warm. So warm that I often ended up taking it off and just wearing the raincoat because it was so warm. It was also reasonably water resistant. It says water resistant, not waterproof. Again, we were in a lot of moisture, and I didn't have trouble with the moisture penetrating through. But I think after after 2 or 3 days of that, I wore the raincoat the most. Moisture. And so if I'd been wearing this straight for all 3 days, I do think that by then this would have gotten pretty sopping wet. The one thing I didn't love about it is, it is a full parka, right? Mm-hmm. So wearing a raincoat over this wasn't really much of an option. I would have had to buy the raincoat at least 1, if not 2 sizes bigger. In fact, I bought this in the same size as my raincoat. Mm-hmm. This fits a lot looser than the raincoat did. They're the same size, but the raincoat was tight. I think if I'd have bought that 1 size bigger, it wouldn't have been big enough to go over this. If I were to do it again for this particular hunt, even though it was very cold, I'd have probably gone with the raincoat, and I probably would have bought like a puff vest so that I could do the layering more, because I really didn't need 2 full coats. I think the raincoat alone was enough if I just had a good insulated layer for underneath. But that coat on its own was awesome, and a bit pricey, but just awesome. Very, very warm and rather water resistant.
And I will say that I did buy my rain jacket just 1 size bigger. I usually wear a medium. I went to a large for that so that I could put it over other clothes. Okay, the pants. Obviously, both brands have several different options.
Yes.
The ones that I got have knee pads. Man, for hunting, I love that. I started getting knee pads when I was into photography, and I had a photography blog, so I was traveling around the world doing photography everywhere. And I started wearing these, tactical pants with the knee pads in them. Oh my gosh, so nice. For photography and hunting, you're just kneeling down all the time, looking to a spotting scope, digging into your bag, you're kneeling down and stuff. It's just really nice having them. So they make both with and without the knee pads, but I bought it with just for durability to have this heavier fabric there and on the butt. It makes me kind of feel like a whitetail having a different patch on your butt, doesn't it? Like I'm a deer. But I really did like them. The pants were just awesome. Yep.
Cool. These pants, I just went ahead with the Under Armour Ridge Reaper Field Pants. These are, I think, the Windstopper. It's about a $200 pair of pants. They have
Under Armour Ridge Reaper Windstopper.
Yes,
like
lots of rotors. They do have like a $150 pair of pants, and they have a much more expensive $350 pair of pants. These, I mean, they have kind of this...
That's crazy. You just said this and it's $350 pair of pants.
I know.
Like if it were anything other than hunting camo, we'd be like, heck no, I'm not wearing that.
These
Them
pants,
city slicker jeans.
These pants were really good overall. They really did stop the wind well. They were moisture resistant. Again, I didn't have any trouble with water getting in. Except right here, where in my first hour of hiking, they tore. I know like any pants could tear, but this was like such a little snag on a twig when we were hiking through, like kind of bushwhacking a little bit. But like, to be fair, we were walking through the brush, but yours didn't snag. And I felt these snagging a lot the first time they tore. The first time. After that, I was like, now I got to be super cautious every time I feel my pant catch. I'd have to like stop and... Yeah. If I had to do this again, and the reason I bought these ones again was it was a cold weather hunt. These are fleece lined. They're good, warm pants. If I had to do it again, this sounds crazy, but I would have bought the $350 pair of Gore-Tex Pro waterproof pants, and I probably would have worn like a fleece layer in between. I do wear like a compression pants kind of thing to stay warm underneath, or long johns or whatever.
These aren't, what does he say? These aren't pajamas? Yeah. Oh no, I was thinking of Nacho Libre.
Oh yes, okay.
Yeah. Anyway,
that's not The Office.
Sorry.
I was surprised that you would quote something else.
Office.
No, but yeah, I would probably go with the really nice Gore-Tex. They're not going to snag. They're just a totally waterproof pant. And then I would have just worn like a fleece layer in between.
Good call. So we've kind of walked you through the pricing and kind of why we chose kind of what we chose for a general setup that you could take almost anywhere in the world to go hunting with. You can choose a lot of these and you'll do well. If you want our specific, the pieces we bought and stuff for the Under Armour for the Sitka, again, we've got that linked in the description. Backfire is something we're putting a ton of work into, and we've seen just a crazy amount of support from you guys on this channel so far. So thank you for all the subscribes and likes. It really helps keep us going.